Barclays' head of private banking is about to find out what happens when you give your clients a stern telling off. Gerard Aquilina laid into his wealthy clients at a conference in Zurich. Well, Matthew Lynn is betting they're not going to like it. Our Arabic columnist is with us right now. Matthew, tell us, what did he do?
Oh, well, it was kind of an amusing story. I mean, you won't dwell on that too much, but he was having a bit of a go. His clients has been difficult and demanding and getting more so, which is kind of not the sort of thing you expect from private bankers. You know, private bankers are a bit like valets. You know, they're there to suck up to rich people and to tell them how great they are, not to tell them off.
It's a bit like biting the hand that feeds you.
Absolutely.
What are the particular concerns?
Oh, well, I think he was talking about that they was kind of asking for more and more stuff, like getting the kids into the right school in Geneva. You know, crucial things like that.
So it's a kind of concierge service.
Yeah, finding some good tickets for concerts and all that kind of thing, and not wanting to pay very much for it. But I think you know, he's probably just letting off a bit of steam, I imagine. But I thought what was interesting about it was it tells you something about the nature of the rich, and the rich actually, you know, they kind of put on this front. You know, we see some endless kind of philanthropic, charitable initiatives coming out. But they're actually, when you look at the serious research on this subject, they're not very nice people, and I suspect that they're getting nastier all the time.
And why do you think that's true? I mean, the research does suggest that, you know, the very rich give less money as a percentage to charity, and a number of things that don't particularly paint them in a very good light. But I guess you need sharp elbows to work your way up the ladder, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think there are some reasons for this, as you're saying. I mean, there's been some interesting research on this, you know, that they're ruder than other people. I mean, some psychologists did this research. If you meet one, they're less likely to make eye contact or to ask you questions about themselves. They just talk about themselves.
Because they don't want you to ask them for some money.
Yeah, well, you've obviously talked to too many. and also, they're less likely to give money to the poor, which you might not expect, and they're more likely to be in favour of punishing people. But I think it's partly because, you know, if you look at this realistically, you do need to be quite rough. You need to be quite nasty to get to the top of any profession. You've got to tread on people's toes. You've got to have sharp elbows. You've got to push people out of the way.
And has this changed, or was it ever thus?
Well, I'm sure to some degree it was ever thus. But I wonder if it's changed a bit. I mean, if we go back historically, you know, there were a lot of famous kind of industrialists, you know, who lived a lot kind of closer to their workers and did things for them. You can think people like the Cadbury family, you know, built whole villages, or the Lever brothers up in Liverpool. In America, then people like Henry Ford in 1913, he just kind of off the top of his head doubled the wages of his workers overnight and cut their working hours. So I mean, I think you know, industrialists live much closer to their workers. They went onto the shop floor.
Well, they had workers.
They had workers, absolutely. Yeah. So they were aware that they were kind of lucky that their fortunes weren't made by themselves. And I think in the financial, most millionaires, most very rich people come out of the financial markets these days. They come out of hedge funds. They come out of investment banks, and they're completely cut off from any kind of ordinary life. They don't see it, and it makes them very arrogant and very snobbish. So I think there's a kind of serious point in this discussion, which is that the rich are actually getting nastier over time, and so it's bad luck on the private bankers.
Absolutely. Well,
they're going to have even more difficult people to deal with.
Indeed. Perhaps well done him for saying it. It might prick a few consciences. Matthew, thank you very much indeed.